Hey guys, so looking at today's video, we're talking about factoring trinomials when a equals 1. Learning objective, I can factor when a equals 1. Now, when we're talking about factoring when a equals 1, what we're trying to do is to get two parentheses set up with our two different binomials, basically, multiplying to make that trinomial. We're going backwards with that multiplication stuff we were doing before. Now, to try to give you an idea on what I mean, like the goal of what we're trying to get to here, I'm trying to find these two factors that multiply to make that trinomial. So here's just a general idea, and then we'll tie it into some examples from Delta Math. But we're trying to get to this, right? What if I multiplied this out? What would we have if we multiplied this out? Well, if I did, either using box method or FOIL method or just distributing it out, I get x times x, which is x squared. I get x times b, which is bx. I get x times a, or a times x. Ooh, that's a funky looking x there. I get a times x, which is x, ax. And then last, I get a times b, which is just ab. Now, there's something I want you to notice here, because we have like terms in the middle. We have both x and x. So we could combine this even a little further. If I combine it and write it as a final answer here, I have x squared plus parentheses. I'm going to go alphabetical, so I'm going to go a plus b x plus ab. And now we have our trinomial in those three pieces we're used to seeing, right? Our answers for trinomials normally turned out like this. There's something very important I want you to see. It's a pattern that we're going to use to factor out all these trinomials. Notice the constant term is a times b. Notice the x term, our linear term, is a plus b. So what we're trying to do is find values where it multiplies to make the constant term, but then adds together to make the middle term. We're looking for any numbers, a or b, that multiplies to make the constant term and adds together to make the middle term. There's the pattern. There's the shortcut. This is what we're going to use to factor out all these other trinomials. So now let's get to some delta math. Look at this first one. We have x squared plus 14x plus 49. So thinking of that pattern, we want to multiply to make 49, but add it together to make 14. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up my diamond just like what you saw before. I know it multiplies to make 49. I know it adds together to make 14. Then off to the side, I'm going to start listing out factors of 49. That way it could help me pinpoint which one actually works, which combo actually works. And I'll tell you right now, it's easier to work with the multiplication than it is with the addition, because guys, there's an infinite amount of ways you can add up to make 14. 1 plus 13, 2 plus 12, 3 plus 11, 4 and 10, 5 and 9, da 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 da. Then if you throw negatives at it, you got even more problems. Then if you throw decimals or fractions at it, you got even more problems. So we're not worried about that stuff. We're only going to worry about the multiplication combos and see which one matches to add to that 14. Now, 49, you have a very simple one. You have 1 times 49, right? I'm telling you, I want to emphasize this one because a lot of us, in my experience, a lot of us forget about this one, and it turns out to be the correct answer, and we're like, oh man, what the heck? Don't forget about that times 1 with your combos there. So 1 times 49 makes 49. Does 1 plus 49 make 14? No. So it's not going to work, right? Let's go to another one. What else makes 49? 2? No. 3? No. 4, 5, 6? How about 7s? Those of us that are probably good at the multiplication, you're like, Miguel, get to it already. But 7 times 7 makes 49, right? What's 7 plus 7? 14. Jackpot. So what we have here, guys, we're going to put our 7s on the sides of this diamond. We have our two factors. We have our two A and B values from our diamond. So what it tells us is that we have x plus 7, x plus 7. Do you see what I'm cooking with here? We multiplied on top, we added on the bottom. Those two factors was the combo that fits for both of this, because 7 times 7 makes 49. 7 plus 7 makes that 14. So this is my A value. This is my B value. I could write this in our parentheses where I have x plus 7, x plus 7. There's my final answer. So let's go back to delta math. Let's punch that in. X plus 7, x plus 7. Now, there's something nice about this one here, guys. When you have the exact same parentheses, x plus 7, x plus 7, they are exactly the same. We could also rewrite that in a different way. You could write that as 1 parentheses squared, x plus 7. Because you have 2 of those same things being multiplied together. Now, for the sake of this, do you have to worry about it? No, not really. But it's something that we should know. Okay, there's delta math. They draw it up a lot cleaner than me, right? But look, you got your constant on top, the middle term on the bottom. You're multiplying to make the top, but adding to make the bottom. Let's try another one. X squared minus 4x minus 32. Good, we've got negatives. I know most people don't like negatives, but hey, negatives are part of life. We said negative 32 is our constant, so that goes on top, negative 32. This is what we're going to multiply to try to get to it. And then on the bottom, we said negative 4. Negative 4. So we want to add to try to get negative 4. Now, negative multiplication means we have one of our terms with a different sign. So they're not going to be both positive. They're not going to be both negative. They're going to be one or the other. So let's start coming up with our stuff with 32. We've got 1 and 32, right? But remember, we need negative 32. So let's make the 32 negative. The 1's positive. Multiplies gets me negative 32. If I add those together, that gets me negative 31. That's no good. What if I switch it? What if I did negative 1 and positive 32? Multiplies again to make the negative 32, but if I add those together, I get positive 31, still too far away from negative 4. 32 is big, but it's even, so we could cut it in half. 2 goes into 32 16 times. Okay, let's make the 16 negative. 2 times negative 16 makes it, right? But 2 plus negative 16 makes negative 14. No good. Let's switch it. Negative 2 and then positive 16. If I multiply, I get the negative 32. If I add, I get positive 14. So again, no good. And guys, I kind of want to emphasize this for a second. This, when I added, I got negative 31, right? Then this was positive 31. This was negative 14. And then this was positive 14. Something I want to emphasize to you. When you're looking at these combos, if they're the same combo, they're just switching signs. Notice when you're adding, the sign just switches. So let's say we found a combo and it was positive 4. We needed negative 4. All we'd have to do is just switch the negative sign around, which we should do with this problem right here. What's another one that gets to 32? let's say 4 and 8. Okay, let's make the 8 negative. The 4 is positive. 4 times 8 makes 32. Positive times negative makes negative 32. Okay, good. 4 plus negative 8 gets me the negative 4. Gets me what I was looking for right there. So what that tells me is I need my A value to be 4, and I need my B value to be negative 8. Now, here's the nice thing, guys. When we're talking multiplication, the order does not matter. As long as you're keeping track of the signs, the order does not matter. So if I had negative 8 over on the left and then positive 4 over on the right, we'd still get the right answer here. So what this tells me is I can set up my parentheses. I'm going to have x plus 4, and I'm going to have x minus 8. We could put a plus negative sign, but that's just, I'm a lazy mathematician. I don't want to write that much. I could just replace it with one subtraction sign and I'm good. Let's punch that in. X plus 4, x minus 8. Now, some of us, we might be able to start doing this mentally in our head. Some of us are really good with math instincts and just knowing numbers and everything. We could look at 32. We could say, okay, I can divide this by whatever. I add that together. Oh my gosh, there's my middle. I'm done. But I encourage everybody to really just take the time, especially here at the beginning of this thing, and just draw it out, just write it out, you know. Here's the third type of trinomials we're going to see. We saw where it was both positive and positive. We saw where it was both negative and negative. Now you're going to see where it's negative in the middle and now positive out there at the end. So I have x squared minus 10x plus 24. So 24 on top, negative 10 on the bottom. 24 on top, negative 10 on the bottom. Okay, remember we're looking for factors because that's a much smaller list. So let's take a look at our 24 factors. Let's see, I have 1 and 24. Can't forget about it. If I add those together, that makes 25. That's no good. I have 2 and 12. If I add those together, I get 14. That's no good. I have 3 and 8. If I add those together, it makes 11. Oh, we're getting close, but still no good. Also 4 and 6. 4 and 6 makes that magical number 10. But we need negative 10, right? Here's the nice thing about this one. This is why I wanted to add it to the video as well. We need to multiply to make positive 24, which means both of these need to be the same sign. What if I made these negative? Instead of that positive 24 or 25 when I'm adding, it's now negative 25. Instead of that positive 14, when I add them together, it's now negative 14. Instead of that positive 11, I'm adding them together, I get negative 11. Do you see where I'm going? I make this a negative 4. I make this a negative 6. I add those together. That makes negative 11. Oh, negative 10. But it still multiplies to make positive 24 because negative times negative makes positive. So we've got our answer. Negative 4 times negative 6 gets me 24 and adds to make negative 10. So now in our answer, we could go x and x. And then we could put down our numbers. Instead of positive, since they're negative, we could just write it as subtraction. X minus 4, x minus 6. Let's see what delta's got to say about it. Oops. X minus 4, x minus 6. Too easy. Let me know if you have any questions, guys. And that's about it. Talk to you later.